Playoffs are on the horizon, and every map is a must-win. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Week 6 of VCT Americas, coming to you live from the Riot Games Arena in Los Angeles, California. I kind of wish I was at that beach. I'm Golden Boy, and of course, joined here, we have Mimi, my partner in crime. Great job yesterday. Always appreciate you. And, of course, V1's very own Mel joining us here today. It's like we're right back doing challengers. Once again, life truly is healing. How you doing, Mel?
I'm doing pretty good. Actually, LCQ was such a crazy time. And now we're here in LA.
And now we're here.
Studio.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
We have a whole crew, you know, and
life is, what did you even say? Life is a good time?
No, life is healing. Life is healing, baby.
Are you healed?
I mean, after yesterday, I hope I'm healed. That's
good.
But
I'm happy.
We'll see. If you guys see me randomly run off set, you'll know. GB's still not okay. Anyway, though, yesterday we had 3 2 and 4 teams take the stage, and everybody needed a dubski. First was Evil Geniuses facing off against Sentinels, and this was one that just, you know, there I am, sickly in bed, Mimi, watching this game unfold, and I couldn't believe my eyes.
We thought this was going to be an incredible matchup. It was going to be super close between the Sentinels and the new player that was looking better, and an EG that was improving too. But instead, it was EG coming out with a really strong game plan with so much improvement to their fundamentals, and a Sentinels that still looked like just a new team that didn't have all the pieces together. It was a dominant 2-0.
It was incredible to watch purely from EG's point of view. They had great fundamentals, they had a great showing, and honestly, it was just awesome to see. But, oh, these highlights. Wait a minute, hold on.
That's right. So then we had Cloud9 versus MIBR, and I think, you know, again, this is just continuing the Cloud9 arc of them just continuing to show that they are the top team in North America specifically with how they're playing now.
Interesting stomps yesterday. I feel like I'm kind of a curse. To be honest, I'm here and everything's just so cursed. Everything's so like one-sided, but really cool to watch. Always nice to see Cloud9's dominance and how they play.
Yeah. The question for me is like, if Cloud9 played Loud again, what would happen? Because where Loud9 is our Loud9, the super team,
the merger.
Whereas Loud is a team that has been 6-0 in the standings. They've had a lot of stumbles. Whereas Cloud9, besides losing that game to Loud, every other matchup has been dominant. I mean, there's an argument that they could be the best team in the league. It's crazy.
It is fascinating how every team has an encounter from Loud, and then you can kind of tell their season from that point, you know? Like, whether it's like MIBR and Furia never really quite getting over the hump because of that loss to Loud, or in this case, C9 really like just continuing to impress us after that incredible run. But let's go ahead and take a look at the current standings and see we are at the halfway point because we're here, Week 6. This is it. So now we got everything all breaking down and ice, and you're going to see here, Loud, Cloud9, their playoffs are clinched. They are good to go. But now we're waiting for the Final Four. And with the way EG played yesterday, Mimi, and the way things are shaking out, even with Leviathan and RG, this could look completely different going into the last week.
What's ridiculous, Mel, is that no one hasn't not qualified yet. Crew is still in the running. MIBR is still in the running. Sentinels is still in the running. There's a chance for all of these teams, but with only 4 slots left, that means we're going to have at least one team that we had high expectations for, likely not making it.
All of these matches matter one way or another. Either this match has to go this way for this team to a playoffs contention that's kind of out of their control. They need to get so many perfect little details in to qualify, and I think that's kind of the matter for Crew today, but also like huge matches where if an upset were to happen, that can put them over the edge and get into playoffs.
Yeah. And today's matchups are 2 very important ones. For 100 Thieves, their playoff chances still on the line. Loud has locked it in. They're looking for that 2nd seed to earn the right to be just a match away in playoffs from making it to Tokyo. And for Leviathan and Crew, it's 2 LATAM teams where for Lev, in the middle of the pack, Crew still 0-6, but both a chance for playoffs remain.
Yeah, fascinating that even with Crew being in the pickle that they find themselves in, they're still in control of their destiny. That is going to be an exciting matchup, and you're definitely going to want to check that out. But heading into Week 6, though, Loud is our #1 team. Surprise, surprise. And they've actually looked quite incredible. But here's the thing. As of late, I don't know, it feels like things have been kind of predictable. Yeah. You know, they drop map 1, then they bring it back. Then Sadak makes like a funny like shrug, you know, and then Aspas, he just leans back on his chair as if the thing's gonna break, but it's Secretlab, so it's not gonna break. And then, of course, you know, you get yourself some sick A-site anchors, opping with Aspas. I mean, honestly, you just get everything you want, but it just felt like there's always this weirdness with Loud.
It's formulaic.
They have a script. You know, they have to follow it. So for today's match, we decided to track those moments and play Loud Bingo, or as we like to call it, Vamos. That's right. So here are the spots. All right, you got Shorty Kill, which if we don't get that, I'm actually going to be very.
That'll be a shocker.
There's no way.
There has to be.
I mean, that might as well be a free space.
I
There's
was
quite
about
a few
to
ones
say.
on here. Like, I feel like the free
middle.
space in the middle, that's just Osbus Locks Jet. If that happens, you guys can have the free space as well.
Okay.
But some of these, I mean, it's kind of crazy that all of them seem so consistent, right? Cowanzine's gonna movement diff someone. We know that's gonna happen. They're gonna bring a stuffed animal on the walkout.
There's
They
so
might
many
lose
free
round one.
like squares.
OT win. There's going to be a less clutch. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if we just end up filling the whole board today at this rate. Mel, which one stands out to you here? Oh, Tui's main mug.
I mean, the side hack funny face is a given.
Okay.
He has to do that. I mean, and the stuffed animal walkout, like there's like 20 things on here. I mean, not even 20. There's like 6, 7 things on here that you might as well just call it a free space. So.
Osbus puppy tweet kind of stands out to me. I feel like there's already a picture of a dog that he's tweeted for going live. It's almost a given.
Yeah, you can already put a bingo spot on that one there. So guys, head on over to Twitter so you can get your own VAMO card and play along with us throughout the show. And, you know, we'll see what ends up happening there. I don't know, just roll with it. And throughout the show, make sure you use the hashtags VCT Americas as well as VCT so we can feature you on the broadcast. Why don't you fill out those bingo cards, take some pictures, send it over to us.
You're gonna
fill out.
check out if the puppy tweet's on there.
Okay, she's actually going for the puppy tweet. I'm gonna put Mel on bingo duty. But here's the thing, guys.
yet.
Have you ever wondered what it feels like to get a knife kill on stage?
I have.
I've had multiple, okay? Multiple knife kills. Oh,
Have you?
Dynamic zoom as well. But here's the thing, all right? We asked Victor, Cowanzine, and others to break down the year's most exciting and memorable moments. So why don't you go ahead and check out these retakes.
Oh, Victor, perfect. He's good for it.
30 seconds
Now he needs
left.
to do the damage. Oh my goodness!
So before this happened, actually, I was able to get into B site and without them knowing. So while I waited the whole time, I told my team to hit A, and then they ended up hitting A, and there was no one there.
Beat A-Link.
Just lurk A, just lurk A. Can you guys just go A? Can you guys just go A?
10 seconds. 12.
Just exec, just exec, guys. Just do a good exec, okay?
And the person watching me ended up moving away and rotated off to back to A. So I took that timing and just walked behind them. And fortunately, neither of them were looking at me. Honestly, thought I was gonna get more kills here, like at least 2, but I got what I could.
I think in that situation, I probably would have looked for another guy just because he's in his drone and maybe his teammate would come up behind him not expecting. But if it was a ranked game, I probably would have done that. That's really funny.
Here's a fast B hit. Oh, they are just being chunked out all the way through. Cowanzine spamming it through into the grinder. My goodness. Making it past the 60-second mark, but listen, hunting for a Hunter's Fury as well. There it is.
Bom, agora estamos aqui assistindo minha play de Odin. Matei o Zac em primeiro, que tava... Eu tinha visto, desculpa. Tinha visto ele. Só que eu tinha miado 2 caras na garagem, era pra mim ter matado eles. E eu sabia que eles estavam com de vida. Então, tipo, na hora que eu matei o Zekken e tava muito cego, eu só meio que continuei pregando e falei, ó, tá todo mundo miado, vou tentar matar o máximo que eu conseguir, sabe? Só que aí quando depois saiu bem, eu vi que eu tinha matado 4. Aí depois o outro tava no meio, eu só risquei uma ult lá e foi isso. Caguei um pouco, mas vambora.
Caralho, bofo! Quer que eu vague?
Cara.
Vai, Forró. Caralho, mano. Bom, viado.
Tiene como mucho como valor quedarse parado y ahí chuteando, rezando como que van a hallar las balas. Y ahí va la flash del Caio y ahí que los mata todos SEO y solo dispara en filita y obviamente todos salen por ahí. Y el error de Sentinel, obviamente que todos se quedaron parados en esa posición, pero igual amasó. Y acá después ya fue como style points.
How does Bang do this? 13 seconds left, 1v2, paranoid to buy some
10
time.
seconds left.
The reposition. He may be able to get this, he may be able to get this. 4 seconds, he's gotta go! Oh my gosh, he does it!
They omen ulted A-Link. They something we weren't even ready for. They just kind of like collapsed on my players on site and couldn't get the bomb down, so it was just a tragic round. I didn't know Omen was low here, but thankfully he was. It was like an easy kill. He gave me like an easy fight. I Omen bottom this guy, so I could 1v1 this guy Heaven. And they just both give me 1v1s. I feel like they played pretty scared, in my opinion. They didn't really play like they were the better players at the time. So they just like kind of like gave me the 1v1s and I just took them.
Bang plays it so well. Like, I mean,
having the shorty is the most OP gun in the game now. If you need a rank up tip, just buy a shorty if you're ever playing any agent with a smoke.
I knew that he knew that the time was low, and so did I, so just needed to take fights as fast as possible. So, I mean, if I didn't fight that guy A-Link, I probably wouldn't have gotten bombed down, and they probably just would have rushed me, and I would have lost. So I just take as many fights as possible, as fast as possible, because I don't have a lot of time on my side.
Get time.
It truly has been a memorable season thus far, and plenty more memories to be made. But yeah, Mel, I mean, just hearing the player's perspective, and obviously as a player, you know, you're going through these moments, you got to make these like sick plays. Are you ever thinking about that in the moment, or are you just like, I just got to try and find a way to win?
Sometimes after it happens, you kind of laugh and joke about it. Or something insane happens, sometimes you just have to react. It's like, sometimes you do things that you weren't even expecting that you could do, and it just happens, and you just enter flow state, and you're like, whoa, I just did that. But sometimes it's funny just being like, okay, yeah, I just held mouse 1. It looks really cool, but it was kind of easy.
Yeah, no, completely. Hey, you know what? I'm constantly impressed by everything that you guys always do and all that you ever accomplish. It's always mind-blowing to me, and that's why we have plenty more awesome moments throughout the season still to come. But let's go ahead and break down our first match of the day, because, you know, look, it's going to be looking a little rough if you're a fan of pretty awesome hoodies and stuff, because here's the thing. 100 Thieves, they're taking on Loud, and this is a tough one, Mel, because 100 Thieves, this is it. They have to win this game, and you're doing it against a team that has yet to drop a series against an America squad. How do you make of this?
It's pretty intimidating. It's definitely a challenge that they're gonna have to face, and going into it, probably talking a lot about game plans and looking for every small, like, exploitable hole in Loud's game that they can find. But at the end of the day, you have to take it every game one step at a time. You have to treat every game the same, you know, put your heart on your sleeve, put everything out there, and just hope you win that day, hope you're informed. We hear it a lot with the players, like, the past couple weeks, is like, they don't even know who's gonna win. We've been seeing upsets left, right, and center. And some days it's just a matter of, like, who's informed, who isn't, and we'll just see on the day.
And I think if anyone feels that, it's Loud, because there's been so many days in the last few weeks where they have started slow, where a series that really shouldn't have has almost slipped away from them, but they've only saved it at the final yard. I mean, that's why we were making a bingo card about them, because it has been the same thing repeatedly, and it's a testament to how good this team is, that after losing map 1, after starting slow, after looking, frankly, quite poor, they managed to rebound. Their players step up, they recover, and still win out these series. But it is important to note that they have shown weakness. This is not an impossibility for 100 Thieves, like one might have thought if they just looked at that record of 6-0 in the standings.
Loud are not infallible. There are gaps in their gameplay. There are weaknesses. You see them, and honestly, the story mostly becomes, and this is not to discredit Loud at all, they are an incredible team, but a lot of these recent matches, you see them dropping these maps, and a lot of the narratives, like, if this team closed out this anti-eco, if this team closed out their lead, we're talking leads of, like, 4 rounds, 5 rounds, so close to victory and getting a map and a series off of Loud, and it just goes out the window. But it's that close, and surely 100 Thieves has to be looking into that and thinking, okay, this is our chance. Like, we've had this many weeks of looking at our own mistakes. We've had a really hard season in terms of, like, learning about ourselves and making mistakes, and hopefully they can use all that VOD review time and time they've had to practice and learning from all the ups and downs of the season so far into winning this match.
Yeah, the thing is with Loud, you know, if you give them a quarter, they will take quarter. You know, if you give them space, they will take it, essentially, is what I'm trying to get at here. And you don't want to allow that. You don't want to let that happen. But the problem is that you run into, well, you know, guys like Les, for example, guys like Sada, guys like Aspas, really, Mimi, everyone on this team is a threat, is a weapon on the field. It just so happens we're talking about Les here.
Yeah, in particular, it's been Les and Aspas who, when these series get close, when things look like they're going to slip away, they step up in the last few maps and save their squad. They're, I think, 2 players that really, when their team is doing badly, when they're not playing well, they just get pissed off, and they really focus that in to improving. And Mel, I'm wondering if you can speak to that, because I think for a lot of players at the highest level, that is something that you can channel into the quality of gameplay you see from a guy like Les.
It's so consistent how Les is at closing out these rounds and making up these man disadvantages when Loud need them the most. And it's no, like, coincidence that really it's their Viper and their, like, Sentinel player. I can relate, Nicole, like, no, yeah, our Sentinel player is the exact same way. Like, she gets pissed off if things aren't aren't going right. She's like, okay, let me take over. Like, get me in these winning positions in the late rounds, and I will close it out for us. And that's exactly what you want to see in players like Les, who can do it so consistently.
And right now, he's sitting at best in role for that kind of Viper, Killjoy, Sentinel role that we're seeing a lot of here in Americas, which is a super impressive statistic. But I think what is interesting about Les is that, well, he's fantastic. He's also kind of a high-risk, high-reward player. We saw in their last game, I believe it was against EG on their Pearl, where he was taking a lot of these super aggressive lurks, sometimes falling on them, sometimes making the big play. But he's a guy who, when the team is playing at their peak, is the one who can close it out, but also when they're struggling, can be exploited at times.
Yeah. It really does help that Loud have all of these options on the field when it's necessary for them, and they take full advantage of it. Credit to the coaching staff, right, for keeping them in this series despite them. I mean, that's a wild track. Losing a game, then going back, and then answering back for a 2-0, and then the way that they're doing it as well, the games are close. So it's clear, like, the rest of the region is leveling up alongside Loud, but Loud is just that little bit better. Here's the thing. Earlier, we actually spoke with Cowanzine about this matchup against 100 Thieves and which players he's actually going to be watching out for. Let's take a look.
Para estudar deles, mas tem dois players lá que eu sempre assisti durante 2022 e eu sei que são dois players que conseguem brilhar, conseguem levar um round na mão sozinho, que um deles é o Asuna, outro Cryocels. Os três outros são muito bons também, só que eu não acompanhei muito eles, mas eu sei que esses dois, o Asuna e o Cryocels, são um cara muito bom que pode levar um round, assim, tipo, um instante.
Obviously, respect for the players no matter what, because the talent is always there. But let's go ahead and shift gears over to 100 Thieves, because last week, they were feeling great. They were feeling good. It was all smiles after their big win over Leviathan. You're thinking to yourself, man, this is going to be the beginning of the 100 Thieves comeback arc. And then NRG made it a really, really bad day for them, Mel. What, in your opinion, having seen the games and also, professionally as well, like, is that a thing that, like, they beat Leviathan, they're riding a high, and then coming out of that, it's like, how do you build upon that success? Or do you think maybe they got a little ahead of themselves, perhaps?
It's definitely tough from 100 Thieves' perspective, coming off of getting that win versus Leviathan, which is a huge confidence booster for them. It cannot be understated. Going into this game just getting absolutely mollywopped, it's definitely not what you want, the position you want to be in as a professional player. But sometimes you're not there that day. And honestly, I would say this isn't like the norm for 100 Thieves. This is really a low light for them. This is them at maybe their worst. And honestly, you look at their other games, you know exactly what they're capable of. And I've scrimmed them. I know what they're capable of, the things they do in scrims, and the things we've seen earlier in the matches as well. We saw that even week 1 against Sentinels was such a close game. And it's heartbreaking to see, but honestly, I have full faith that they're going to be able to look at their mistakes, see and grow, and be able to improve and have a better showing for this week.
And a lot of the mistakes for me when I was watching that matchup were in the game plan. For the first time in Americas, we watched Bind come out, and they were really playing the same composition that they played before, in the same style that they played before. Well, NRG came out and innovated a little bit, taking some of the Harbor Viper into the meta, and it felt like they really struggled to find an answer to that. They were consistently just going for these hard side execs on the attack side, getting spiked down, but they were losing out time and again to these Harbor retakes, and that momentum just kept through to Fracture, where they got absolutely stomped.
Yeah, it's really hard to come back and bring yourself back into the game, especially after the way that match went. But let's actually take a look at what Bang had to say, because after last week's disappointing match, he actually told Esports GG that it's not playing together, not being on the same page, and a bunch of small mistakes. Those are the reasons we lost. And I mean, look, I think like when it boils down to it, that's always a hard question to answer. Why did you lose? I don't know. I sucked that day. Like, I wish I could tell you, But I think Bang approaches this with a certain professionalism, but also a certain understanding of like, these are the little things, and we know that we're capable of fixing them now.
And it's really the little things. When you're at this level of play, the smallest things, like the margin of error is so small. It could be something like you miss one comm. Like, let's say your energy or your comms for that day is at like even an 80% instead of 100%. Like, say like you check the scoreboard, someone isn't called it, someone's 1 off ult, or someone's a 2 off of ult. And then that round they farm 2 orbs, they get an orb, they get the bomb plant, they get like Killjoy on the post plant, they drop the post plant. Now the round's like unwinnable. So it can be the smallest things, where if you're off your game just a little bit, even just like, yo, let's swing this one together, 3, 2, 1, like, yo, wait for me. Like, don't swing that yet. The smallest things can be so punishing, especially if you're playing against teams that are having a good day that day.
Yeah. And those small mistakes can turn into big deficits, like we saw in that match. In the second one in particular, it did seem to snowball. There was a lot of individual errors. Someone was going ahead of another. It was like Cryo slightly too far ahead on the jet. Those little mistakes compound when you're playing a strong team against NRG, and we know that Loud is another squad that will take advantage of those opportunities if given. So Under Thieves really has to clean up this week.
And they are an incredibly well-drilled team as well. Like, you could even see the positionings when they do their retakes. They know exactly where they need to be all the time. 100 Thieves are going to be at that level, or going to need to be at that level, rather, if they're going to want to take down Loud. But in the past, though, we've actually talked about, you know, the team relying a bit on this man right here, Cryo. And look, you know, this guy always gives you the goods, plain and simple. Talented player, top to bottom. But in this particular matchup, Mel, you really are looking for him to kind of just be like the catalyst or the tip of the spear, rather, for this team.
I think Crow has found his confidence. We're seeing glimpses of it at least, especially like this clutch was insane to watch and experience. But I'm starting to see him get back into his stride. It's just a matter of like going back to that Bang interview. It's a team thing. Everyone needs to be on the same page. It can't just be one person. Everyone needs to be in on the small details, the greater picture, and the game plan.
And the community a lot of times was putting so much criticism on Cryo after the poor performance in the first few weeks from 100 Thieves. But like you said, in this matchup, it looked like he was feeling it. The clutches on Bind, a fairly consistent performance even in their loss on Fracture, but it comes down to the game plans. And having an individual that's performing is great. We've seen how much that's helped Loud with players like Osbos pulling them over the line, but they have to fix the fundamentals, the coordination, and the game plan going into today to have a chance here.
Yeah.
Go
for it.
ahead.
No, go for it,
I was
please.
thinking too, watching 100 Thieves, sometimes I think the game plan is right. It's just a matter of the execution of the game plan. So when I bring up things like game plans, it's like this detail is off, or this peak is off, or this wasn't together and stuff like that. So you can kind of see like a glimpse of, hey, this is the idea here, and it's just a step away from like the execution.
Yeah, well, the good news is we're going to see if those glimpses start to really bear fruit in a moment here, because we are minutes away from 100 Thieves versus Loud. So folks, don't go anywhere, because VCT Americas is going to be continuing right after this. We'll see you in a sec. Get some water.
Foi feita a smoke, o Aspas surpreende, garante o abate, leva mais
Cryo constantly having to adjust. He's finding his ones. What? One more down. Still finds the fourth. Unbelievable.
Came through with it again. They know that I got spirit with a pen. Don't know why they try to compete when they know that in victory it's never gonna end. Them and a week, that's why they could never speak. They ain't like me, I take it to the peak. Different type of steeds that I breed. Wheel up on the mic, they won't get one of these. Please, I don't wanna hear no talk from them. I don't wanna see nothing at all from them. They can't do it like me. So all I wanna see really is a round of applause from them. Vibes in the air, we caused it again. Life isn't fair, but we rode it again. All of my teams being ready for the war, there's no warning for them. Tell them again, I ain't here to make up no friends. I just came through yet again. We look, you never got one of them. Top of the pound yet again. They can't stop this child not again. Reigning champ, I won't lose it. So you know I'm gonna win that again. Tell them again. Tell them again. Tell them again. Tell them again. I ain't here to make up no friends. I just came through yet again. We look, you never got one of them. Top of the pile yet again. They can't stop this child now again. Reigning champ, I won't lose it. So you know I'm gonna win that again. Tell them 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 again. I ain't here to make up no friends. I just came through yet again. We look, you never got one of them. Top of the pile yet again. They can't stop this child now again. Reigning champ, I won't lose it. So you know I'm gonna win that again.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, the odds are stacked against 100 Thieves today, but believe it or not, Mel holds out hope. She's convinced that they could take down Loud, but will she convince us? It's time for predictions. Yes, we've got dueling presentations today. First, it's Mimi. She's gonna sell me on Loud.
I absolutely will. Thank you very much. I wanted to talk about my company, Loud, and what they can bring to the table to win today and in Americas. We are world-class, world champions that are a leader in the industry worldwide. Slide.
Wow. Riveting.
It's fantastic stuff. Let's take a look at the mission statement for this fantastic roster, because it is one that each and every one of our players and staff members keep in their minds while playing. And that is to win Americas while grinding all opposition into a fine dust. In each and every person's
What do you use
head,
the dust
they're
for?
thinking of that destruction of opposition. It's
Fair.
really just a point, not of what it gets to, but the methodology. Let's move on to the problems that might stand in the way of this fantastic ideation, and that is, of course, our continual failure to succeed in map number 1. It is a KPI that we have yet to satisfy. As you can see in the past, it was a loss to Cloud9. They had just added 2 new players. Sentinels, they had a sub coming in. EG just doesn't quite have as much fandom as our squad does, and Crew are yet to win a series. It's been unacceptable thus far, but today versus 100 Thieves, we plan to dominate in map number 1. Let's talk about how we're gonna do that on the next slide.
Interesting. So, what is the? Okay, it's fine. Yeah,
Let's
keep
move on,
going.
please.
Yeah,
No
yeah, sure,
questions
sure,
until the
sure.
end. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
have
The
many
solution
questions.
is simply stop starting so slow. Start starting better and stomp 100 Thieves, because we are better.
That's the solution.
That's the solution.
Is there like a game plan or like
That's
a
the
like a
solution.
strategy book?
Let's talk about who is going to implement that plan on our next slide, please.
Amazing.
Or actually, first, let's talk about how it works, because I'm sure you have
important.
many questions here.
Yeah,
Step
that's what I
number
wanted to
1
know.
Is don't lose map 1.
Okay.
Step number 2
That
is,
seems effective.
it's a great one. Step number 2 is win map 2, and the final step,
But then you would win the series at that point.
well, there's one more step, and that's to win the series 2-0.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about who's going to implement this plan in the team. Our first player that we have on the team who answers the question, why are we the ones to solve the problem we identified, is Osbos. He's a star duelist, a fantastic player with both the operator and rifle, and is the best player right now in Americas. Next player is Sidak, the leader, the IGL, who keeps us calm and focused and brings us a game plan and execution to win us both maps.
Maybe-
The final player here
you
that we got to
misspelled
watch
opponents.
out is Les. That's spelled correctly. That's spelled correctly.
That's
Trust
fair.
me.
That's fine. Just
Les
wanted to
is- Focus, please, on
I'm
my
sorry.
presentation.
So sorry.
Have some
So sorry.
respect. Les the lurker, and I don't know who that guy is.
Who's
but
Barry Books?
he's going to help us out. Moving on. Why now? Because we need to ensure a flawless group stage and our attendance at Masters Tokyo. Thank you both very much. I hope that you'll invest in my team.
Okay, cool. Mel, your turn. No rest for the weary, I guess.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
That was that is an aggressively hard grip. Wow. Okay, Mel, what do you? Oh goodness gracious, what do you have here?
So I have my thesis statement for why we should support 100 Thieves. I have Loud and 100 of the Thieves here.
Oh, 100 of those.
In the
That's-
presentation. Slide.
Okay. Let's see.
Paid extra for some of these effects.
Oh.
Sorry, slide again. I
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know.
What does this tell us?
there's a lot
America.
going on. America,
There's
Bald
a-
Eagle. This wasn't supposed to be here yet, so slide. Why I believe 100 Thieves can win. I have them here in case you're not familiar.
There's only 6 of them.
So
Okay.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We're on
Let's
standby.
go to the next one.
Slide. I am a knower. Exhibit A. Slide.
Okay, she's a knower.
We have
I'm a
2
knower.
slides for the same thing.
Yeah, but I do
No
like where your
criticism at
head's
this
at.
time,
Okay.
please.
That's
Oh.
me.
So this is you.
Yeah. I predicted
Slide.
Olivia Ton. That's reasonable. This doesn't tell us anything.
This is you. You pick Leviathan. Slide. Moving to the next.
Okay, great point. Let's move on.
Number 2. Loud is a boss fight with multiple health bars. And here's my point. Slide. This is my theory. My
Wait, why
conspiracy
is viewer
theory.
discretion advised on the next slide?
You're honestly, viewers at home, please
Oh, no.
avert your eyes for your children. So I have a graphic here
Wow.
of Loud and a health bar. And you see here, the rest of your party has only been able to take off different amounts of level and HP.
But they
so,
still have infinite.
so that's not supposed to be there. I don't know why that's there. I'm sorry.
okay.
But anyway, they've dropped maps in a lot of their series. So eventually you wither them down. They've had close series. Last week against Crew, very close
So
series.
we just talked about how we
13-10.
can fix that.
Yeah. Mel, we're getting close to the start here. Do you think that it's because of the clothing that they're going to win?
Absolutely.
Think
Slide.
Perfect
Right now,
weather.
the weather in Santa Monica is 62 degrees Fahrenheit, and if you slide,
Unfortunately, we might have to slide to the matchup, but I like where Mel's head is at.
Weather's great today.
Here's the thing. Today's matches are do or die. And, well, of course, unless you're Aspas, he's not worried. And it's Leviathan versus Crew. 100 Thieves versus Loud. VCT Americas starts right now.
I wanted to know about the weather.
This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. Everyone was talking about him, and this is going to be the guy to look out for.
Too much Cryo again. Does this guy miss? Does Cryo ever miss? No, he doesn't.
Olha, Thieves, escala bem, faz duplo abate, vamos, Fogão!
Se acaba tempo e leva!
Jugué en Crew por 2 años. Como siempre digo, no me importa quién entre al frente, voy a seguir jugando de la misma manera. Y...
This is still not secured. Yeah, there's Meltzer with 3 massive kills.
Bueno, Leviathan era mi anterior equipo, así que obviamente estoy feliz de jugar con ellos. Y va a ser una serie muy entretenida porque ambos nos conocemos los estilos. Eran mis compañeros, pero ahora son mis enemigos y solamente quiero ganar.
Mazzino greets with 2. Kingston have to hold it on his own. He's gotten 1. The time is short. He's got to hold it. He's got to hold it. Oh my gosh!
Já assisti alguns jogos da Thieves e os caras são muito bons. E acredito que vai ser outro jogo difícil.
Two of them and they're going to be favored. Positioning, it's not good. Cryo constantly having to adjust. He's fighting his ones. What? One more down. Still finds the 4th. Unbelievable.
I mean, we're not afraid of any challenge. I think that, yeah, Loud are really scary right now. They're looking really good.
Wow, flashing through, dropping the wall.
Very well done.
Beautiful stuff.
Les has to win these out. He's got the first. Meltzer's weak. The clutch from Les.
Mas a gente vai se preparar e tentar dar o nosso melhor para vencer em 2 mapas.
Thieves are looking to pull off the heist of VCT Americas, but Loud is intending on bringing the noise. It's Loud versus 100 Thieves, a must-win matchup for the Thieves as they take on the Brazilians. Let's see how this one works out, though, Mimi, because honestly, if 100 Thieves could pull this off, it would be so incredible to see happen, given how their season has gone thus far.
It would be incredible for them, and it would push them one step closer to making playoffs. But for Loud, sure, they're 6-0. Sure, they've already qualified to the playoffs, but their eyes are set on Tokyo, and ensuring a top 2 seed out of the groups means they're just a match away from qualifying.
this match is incredibly important. Both teams are going to be putting their heart out there, trying their absolute hardest. No reason for either of them not to. 100 Thieves needs this. They really need this if they want to have any chance of playoffs. And like you said, Loud, if they want to get that 1v03 away from Tokyo, this is it.
But as we talked about, Loud has looked human. They have dropped the map in the last 3 matches that they have played. And 100 Thieves, well, they had a very tough game last weekend versus NRG. We've seen the heights of this squad. Just before that, it was an upset over Leviathan, another team that we were putting towards the top of Americas.
This is going to be such an important matchup. But it's going to be an exciting one as well, because I will agree with you on what you said earlier, Mel, that I do feel like the 100 Thieves we saw last week was just, you know, they were just like flat soda. You know what I mean? They came out, you know, you taste it, you're like, it's okay. But beyond that, you just don't want to have flat soda. That is what 100 Thieves were last week. And I think that for them, they're going to need to try and fix that up. Who are some of the players that you're going to be keeping your eyes on the 100 Thieves side to really have that influence?
I'm really going to be looking at Ascent here, and also Bang. Bang was huge impact for them last match. He's able to close out these rounds, similar really to Tui's on Loud, and I'd love to see this matchup and see this head-to-head of these players who can open up rounds, but also who's going to actually close them out.
Loud wasn't looking that sparkling in the last few weeks either, and they still won all of their matches. We're already into the vetoes, and we're starting things off on the Heineken 0.0 Ascent. It's a permabans for both these squads, and it's Loud picking into a map where 100 Thieves has looked weak. They've been trying out this Viper comp with no Sentinel, and teams have been able to exploit that. A lot of teams able to really fast flank, punish the gaps on their attacking side and on their defense as well, whereas Loud has just been great playing the default comp on Ascent.
Yeah, and Loud's game plan on Ascent is really simple. It's nothing too crazy. Loud is just like better fundamentally. Like they're not doing anything too crazy. And we've seen they have the capacity to run that Viper on Ascent and things like that. But no, they're going back to the Sova and the KO. And that's going to be interesting to see as well if 100 Thieves brings out their own Viper and if they continue with the philosophy of, hey, we don't need a Sentinel on this map.
100 Thieves have picked into one of their opponent's favorites, split the most played map for Loud this year. And one they've looked good on, but have still shown some weakness. They've been upset, taking 3 losses on the map already. Whereas 100 Thieves right now is 2-0. They play the Sage Raze comp that I think has a really sound game plan around it. It does a great job of filling the gaps, enabling these players to be super proactive on rotates on their defensive side. And on the attack, they have a lot of good executes built around that Sage wall as well.
All right, well, now it's time for the Agent Select Ascent. The Heineken 0.0 Ascent will be the battleground for map number 1 between 100 Thieves and Loud. We'll see what we end up getting here, and I'm curious, Mimi, if we do see any changes from 100 Thieves, potentially. And we do. We end up getting the Killjoy for Stellar rather than the Viper.
I'm happy to see them shift away from that one. I liked some of the ideas they showed with the Viper, but it was clearly exploited by a lot of squads. They'll just go back towards the
default. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and the thing is that this is now just going to be a game about fundamentals, like you were talking about for both these teams.
Like what Bang was saying last week, it was a lot of small mistakes. And usually when that's happening, you don't want to fiddle too much with like comps and gimmicks and stuff like that. You want to go back to all reliable and fix the mistakes from there. All
right, well, we are ready to get this match started. And let's send it over to your casters, future tag team champions of the world. It's Vansili and Rivington.
Oh yeah, brother. Thanks so much, GB, and also to Eminem. But yes, indeed, this is going to be a tough matchup today, Riv, for the 100 Thieves. A very tough opponent that they have to take down for a chance to still go into this race to clinch into playoffs. But thankfully, as you can see around us, they actually have a fan base to actually support 100 Thieves to hopefully win this series.
A lot of energy to be injected from this crowd, and it could be a possibility. The Desk just said it. It hasn't looked great for Loud in their past 3 matches, even with the W coming out just a handful of rounds away from losing to Crew, EG, and Sentinels in those last 3 matchups. Can they be beat now? Have the rest of the teams gotten that much better, right, during the split that Loud is now having everyone catch up to them? Start with Loud on attack. A quick clear out. The crowd is ready. Thieves are going to play a retake on B here. They set up for a nice stack towards that mid area. They'll be happy to let Loud in and see what they can do. Thieves having a decent retake percentage. Let's see if they can make it work here on Loud.
We definitely want to have a strong start now on the defensive side. As first contact is going to be Sadak just by the switch with some support towards the staircase. Plan is going to go down at the default, but the first blood still comes in for the 100 Thieves.
Still formulating, waiting for everybody to come over from B. Slow rotations in. Paranoia is there for the retake.
Blocking off a bit of that vision. Krell cell. Right now, tip of the sphere trying to come back into the site. And look at the positioning of these Thunder defenders. Beautiful paranoia to try to clear out for the site, and even a recon dart from Derek to clear out 2 players inside. Now there's only 1 left on that lurk. It's less on a 4 versus 1. Cryocel's already on a defuse. A 1v1 against Bang on a staircase as Les has to move in, but it's too little too late. 100 Thieves start off very strong on this map.
Fantastic patience to wait for the smoke, smoking off priority zones, and they take 2 and 2 on lane and stairs to make that look clean. Even with the comp switch here, 100 Thieves going away from the Viper, as they said. They've always been a team to mix things up, right? We have Split and Haven coming up, and they have the Cypher Sage, and on Haven, the Gecko even maybe, but, you know, it's good to see.
If it goes to a 3rd map, yeah.
Yeah, if it goes to the 3rd. So good to see 100 Thieves there, still being able to flex, but bring out the strong start to the game. Let's see if they can get all the way through the bonus this time. They've had trouble doing that for sure. And we'll see the defense being set up more default here. So let's focus on Loud. You already have your market, or your wine 0 point going out, and that's great knowledge to get already on 2.
Here are the adjustments. Corral once again, the first blood into the round against Sadak. So that's 1 initiator down, all of Loud. Still, we're trying to work the map a little bit slowly, but you saw the adjustments from 100 Thieves when they were hit by that 0 point in wine. Double swing out for the support.
Exactly, pretty aggressive to go on an eco round like this. 100 Thieves having a little bit of a buy here. And they still want to push up. They still want to meet Loud first. This gives them the idea Loud could be flexing over towards B, so we see that now. 2 in sight for 100 Thieves here to block this off, and they've moved the Killjoy utility from round 1 to round 2 to the right spot now.
And that's the changes from the Thieves too, bringing out this Killjoy, placing the alarm bot more passively to get that early information. Now with a recon dart to come out to ping Derek, forcing him back towards the back of the site. Krauso meanwhile falls as Aspas is going to push towards the spawn.
Oh, the pings.
Recon dart, to retaliate. As that's going to get Stellar ready for 2 kills.
6 bullets.
Grazzi looking for the trade, but he still gets picked off. Finally Aspas to the rescue. But it's just going to be him by himself, planning inside the smoke.
I mean, this is still possible with the Sheriff.
Wait, he got off it.
Great delay.
After he got hit by the paranoia, now the high-low on the staircase for 100 Thieves. The jiggle peek to spot the first one. Now on the high-low, both of them are there at the staircase. Noel Bank for the kill.
10 seconds
Dancing,
left.
bobbing, and weaving as he makes it out. That gets greeted by the Phantom of Asuna as they convert into this bonus round.
And they deny the plant. The extra money from getting into the hands of Loud, which is very important. This is a team that loves to get to the operator. They're very good on their full buy round. So if you can prevent any of that from happening slightly, Kai, you are in a better position. 100 Thieves now getting ready to stave this off. Let's see if they can grab this bonus. Odin already for Kaunzine here. And they're going to look to start tearing through some of these walls to get that early chip damage down onto 100 Thieves. The setup is to push Cat possibly a little bit. The smoke to come out in mid. See how they set up. And a little B main coverage for this orb if they want to grab it in the end. Good control though. Just getting a little bit more info before Loud can make their first move, which all 5 are stacked towards this side.
You see the play of Stellar trying to play close with the Stinger off the ping of the turret. There's a swing out, but unfortunately gets stopped by Sadak. Odin, as I heard that coming out from Kawatzin on the attack. Al Joan to try to clear it out. Now actually does not get the ping, but at least Derek got spotted, and finally at the last second. Under heavy attack, taken down as Loud swarm into this B site for the plant.
Asuna weapon. Glance back in the open. You still have Les here hanging out. He's going to make little to no noise until he has to.
This paranoia was important, but Les was already waiting at the B main.
Exactly.
Bonus round that does do a little bit of damage. Almost got the 3rd one onto Les. But Loud are able to answer back in their buy round.
Playing it slow. Not even getting too much information on 100 Thieves that round. They did have the 0 point go out. And then with the amount of time passed at that point, anything could have happened. And yeah, you do see 100 Thieves have yet to secure this map for themselves here in VCT Americas. Good start so far. See if they can get this 1 round back after they did lose the bonus. We'll focus on now an A hit with mid and tiles being covered up by Loud here. So they're looking to make sure 100 Thieves does not push around the map. They don't want to give up any of this space for free. That's going to be Les's job here towards the mid side, and see if he meets up with Cryo anytime soon. Just a lot of noise. A little bit of ruckus, a little bit of overgrab. And Loud are going to back off here. I think they're very happy to do this. Like we said, the buy rounds are super strong for Loud because they take their time, because they source their opponent and what's happening on every side of the map. This is now just going to be Cryo alone. He did have the Sova before, but it does not matter, Vans.
And that's a small difference that we see from Cryocells today, playing a little bit more aggressively into these off angles. That's not being cleared by Loud. So it guarantees now a first blood into the round as he got the backstab kill onto a key player that he has to focus against. And that's the head-to-head against Aspas.
You're going to see mid here. Yeah, Derek doing a well check. Back in mid. And the mid hit. Let's see if this is going to be Stellar that's ready inside B. You can see the spike waiting with Kaunzine right now to come in through that utility. 100 Loud has the numbers if they push this way, but they're going to have 100 Thieves hot on their heels.
Loud has to put a lot of pressure coming out through the doorway because the spike's by himself towards B main. There's only 20 seconds left on the clock for Loud to act. And as we take care of the alarm clock, Stellar gets 2 kills as he focuses towards the lane. Action into the round.
Nicely done. It's from last round to this round, 100 Thieves realizes how much time Loud is going to take and wait for that contact play then, right? Cryo found contact play in mid. That wasn't a take, that wasn't util. It's very telling in how Loud wants to take this space right now, and 100 Thieves adjust in one round. Still could be very back and forth. Blade Storm ready for Aspas here, as there'll be a bit of a money save round, seeing just a shorty. Stingers around with some sheriffs. Following the 0 points just at the early part of this. Actually towards Cat instead of Wine this time.
And Aspas pulled out his knives when, fortunately, Cryocells pulled out his at the end of the round, but it doesn't matter. Still gets another first blood into the round. Third one so far into the game, making that about a 5 HP left. But Aspas is still looking for that space, being cleared by the Paranoia. Counter Paranoia, but it doesn't hit him. Flying across the map on the A side, gets a double kill now. A flash into the smoke. Aspas gets a blinded kill. Back to a 3 versus 3, but Loud is looking for this plant out towards A main. Fighting back now for information. Aljone does get the ping, now forcing Aspas away. And thanks to all these kills from Stellar, he has that lockdown into the Cat. So that pushes everybody from Loud out towards Wine. And it's time for 100 Thieves to move into the A site. Flash in a turret, forcing Aspas away once again. A recon dart just to keep them back.
No utility.
Kawasine though, going for trades. It's still the advantage for Loud. What? Up to Derek somehow with only 21 HP. The jump spot coming out from Aspas. The recon dart, the shot. And now you could just play the clock, the time here for Loud. And it looks to be a sealed fate.
Oh.
The patience. And now the virtue of Loud as they're able to fight back with the lower buy.
The full push. A little disjointed when they went for that on the A main control towards Wine. Loud's just able to line him up, take him down, and then play cat and mouse at the end there with the spike. What? That was just like cinematic from Aspas. Up and over the Paranoia and then gets the blades through. You gotta be kidding me. Doing no wrong that round. Aspas brings it back for the team. We said that Blade Storm was going to be very, very important. And it took out and made way for Loud to get into A site. Again, a little bit of that love towards A. They may just keep focusing this orb here. If they can get Aspas to do things like that, and he starts a little bit of the hero aura for this game to make an impact. B is going to be pushed once again. 100 Thieves continue this main control, Vans. They need to get a little information if Loud's going to be able to execute rounds like we just saw, because it's very hard to react to something like that.
They got that info early. Also not actually just 0 point in toward A main. Hit all 3 of them. And now Sadok's already popping it towards A main. There's that dash in, the hero aura that you mentioned, and just around the cast. The lurk from Les. For the first blood and the advantage for Loud as they move into the A site. 100 Thieves are looking to focus towards mid while Aspas continues to push forward towards heaven.
Bot coming back.
Look at them towards middle for 100 Thieves. They're trying to find Les.
Very hard to do since he keeps himself quiet.
The shoulder peak though. Now the delay. Beautiful job as the rest of Loud can now focus in the A site. Hunter's Fury on the attack. Does get the ping onto one. But Star dodges the other. Les, meanwhile, getting his own fight on that 2v1 out towards spawn, and there you go. All that delay was perfect for Loud. They're going to tie up this game as the rest of 100 Thieves are going to have to fall back into the B site and save these 3 weapons, these 3 rifles into the next.
That's just ridiculous from Les. To be able to stop 2 members of 100 Thieves right there in their tracks and still really have no decision to get to the site because the spike was ticking down, because everything else that would have needed to happen to get in. they get away with murder on that one, and 100 Thieves are going to have to save. Oh! Not as much as they wanted to.
That hurts.
Yeah, very quick shot there to take him down. Les comes up with another one.
And especially with another player falling down, also not able to save his weapon, and that's probably one of these rounds where that Blade Storm could have been very important for Cryocells moving here, because you're going to see a very low buy, a pause already being called by Mike's HD to see how they could play with this lower buy. Because seems as Loud, they woke up much earlier than just the first map losses that we've seen in the past few weeks.
And it does seem like they're taking a little bit more control of the map, other than losing 2 or 3 to what seems like just disjointed utility. Moving together, we've actually seen Loud in a lot of these rounds go for a 3 or a 4 stack somewhere, and then just allow Les to be the only one. For a moment, Tui's will have a bit of a roam, and then he joins the team. But that's easy because he's on smoke. So, yeah, Kaunzin, I don't know. He's had this Odin forever. Easy style of play they want to keep going for. He can just spam in the back. As soon as he hits the dart, Ospas is in with a hail of Odin bullets over his shoulder and recon on what he needs to hit in the sight. It's almost too hard to defend here. We saw last round 100 Thieves playing towards B, which I thought was pretty interesting with that null command up. So they're choosing either give up A or meet that null command head on as it starts to hit B. Imagine if that would have happened. So we see the kind of style 100 Thieves wants to play, they'll be aggressive, but Loud's been choosing the other side so far.
Let's go.
Continuing to get those rounds back on a few of these mid plays on the rotations where Les is really able to have an impact. Again, a little bit of a roam, and this time it's going to come from Sadak to get a good knife in, and then he joins the team, leaving Les to his own devices. More mid pressure, though, from 100 Thieves this time.
Exactly. They didn't decided not to go for the SMG buys around the rifles that were saved before, so playing more aggressive, playing tight-knit, looking for instant trades.
Yeah. Pretty weird buy for 100 Thieves here, as they're kind of sorting their money about.
Okay to give up a few rounds on their defense. Cut their losses. Maximize the position.
That's a shot.
And they're able to do that. Derek with a nice shot on the Guardian. That's one weapon picked up and an opportunity for a flood retake for 100 Thieves. Kawatzin, though, waiting at the bottom of hell with this Odin. Support on the top with Aspas.
Another?
Answers back. Yeah, that's another to fall towards the A site. Stella with the second one into the round. And these rifles are coming to work after all, but not until Tui's has something else to say. And that danger coming in. No kills from the shorty. A 2 versus 1 as the clock is ticking down. But Stellar falls, and now there's no time left. Asuna, saving grace, at least gets that kill onto Tui's. But we'll have to fall back, and can he save the weapon at least?
That's not going to be it. No!
But it was close.
It was real close. Just need to grease up those robot legs a little bit. So close to getting a 4-3 now. Loud again, route themselves around where 100 Thieves is. A lot of pressure towards mid. They go straight in, diving towards Generator with Aspas again. Asuna there on the final kill, but there was not enough time. So the timeout thwarted there by Loud. They're able to keep their momentum going a little bit. And now it's the operator for Cryo. We've been waiting to see one come out. That's going to be reaching deep into the pockets here. Cryo's had a pretty good game so far, so he should feel on to hit these shots. Supported right now by Asuna on cap to start off, but they're going to be semi-identified by these 0 points coming out.
And quick thinking there for the Thieves off that timeout. Not buying around the rifles that were saved before allows for them to get small shields and weapon into this round. Another saving grace too is that they dropped everybody from Loud on that previous, trying to keep that econ low on the attack.
Good point. Any way you can take away from Loud in a game is a good thing.
There's that jiggle peek though. Crowd did see the first contact being Aspas, so that's going to be the call potentially for an early rotate, but it's just going to be 100 Thieves readjusting towards the A site. Derry looking for info with the recon dart, gets shot off. So now an indication of a possible split into the B site. And we're just playing the guessing game for the Thieves.
Straight up towards mid. Maybe looking for alarm bot utility, but they didn't like it. They go for the re-hit.
Updraft to actually break the crosshair placement.
Oh yeah, broken.
Aspas still gets the kill. Cross cells on the top of heaven. That's one op shot. Jiggle peek coming out. The tip of that Odin, a TP into the smoke. The triple peek through. But Krell still gets the kill.
That's a lot of targets there. He chose the right one. See if they can keep this going. Loud with the lockdown. They're gonna get some room, but Derek says no!
Shock dart kill. Close range, Cryo! Connection onto less! A 3 versus 1, and you can play it safe for sure. Because Tui still has to move in and grab this flank and get the plant. Wasted a lot of time with that. So a double push coming up from heaven. A recon dart, the spray. And even coming in from A-Main, an easy one. A 4K for Cryocells into this round. And this is a beast that's looking to roar in this series.
And they look to take that op away from the position, right? Right when they saw Cryo, they ran away, went towards mid, they come back, and Cryo still makes it work in the tight situations. That's when you're almost worried you have an op, when you gotta play a little bit of retake, you gotta play against people rushing you. Nah, Calm, Cool, Collected, 11 and 5 right now with that Bladestorm back online.
Yeah.
Cryo, and questions being answered there, asked of him, I should say. If he could be that one on top now that he can get focused on the duelist and hit his work. And Aspas is going to be that versus for him today. And I cannot wait to see this full series. 4-4 now as we get into round 9. 100 Thieves should be able to string these together, Vans. They have the ultimates. Cryo on an early peak again. Doesn't even move off the 0 point. And he hits the jump from Cowanzi.
Cryocell is doing his work so far. Making it hard for Loud to get any of that early space unless they want to go for these hard execs, where Aspas is always going to try to lead the charge. Let's look for the timing. Nice ADS shot onto Asuna, though. That's how you quickly answer back.
Letting the map breathe for a second. Is Cryo still trying to get these little peaks out? And Loud has been favoring A. It has to be noted at this point. Quick from the shadows intel grab.
It's up to Bang here.
Dash
now
in.
with the Clad burst. Big flash to push him away. But Derek is already there. He already rotated across because Bang did get a TP for info. First and a wall Bang comes in. Spike down as Aspas gets killed. Player advantage coming out for 100 Thieves. 33 seconds left on the clock as they close the door on the attack to try to get a safe plant. Again, same spot for A main, where Loud has found a bit of success here on the post plant. 3 players of the Thieves all moving towards Heavens. Big flash and a peek from Les to get the 3rd in the round. Now with the Odin from Sadak spraying on top of Heaven 2. The peek coming out from Stellar. And unfortunately, it's all up to Derek. Still manages for at least 1 kill, though, before it gets dropped. And that's Loud now coming in a lead on their attack half of Ascent, 5-4.
Wow. Loud being able to weather these storms even after losing members of the team is really impressive. Cryo 4-0 on his first kills here, absolutely leading the team. And when he can't get more than that, I guess, it falls apart a little bit. And Loud is running the same strat over and over again. I don't think it's possible that they continue to get in A and win those rounds. It's just the standard flash, or I'm sorry, dart and dash coming in from their team. Now they go towards B, though, so they will decide to switch it up, add a little flavor to this, and maybe it's just Aspas dash to switch now.
The big piece of util is this right here. That judge from Asuna that gets denied right away. Nice little shot from Stellar, and the Bladestorm for Kyle up in the air. Up and down he goes indeed. And Derek with the Sheriff in the back of the site. Playing it slow. The flash, the anti-flash to come out. But Loud gain control of the B site. Derek trying to isolate 1v1s. Nice paranoia from Bang. Gets the wall Bang on top of that. That's a 1v1, low HP on Bang. Tui's has the positioning.
Ooh.
Spike is down, then the wall Bang, the shoulder peek. And then Tui's comes back. Almost a 50 round coming in for the Thieves. But it's still stolen away by Loud.
Loud finally gained a bit of ground here once again. See, they're really the only ones with getting 3. Losing 1, getting 2. 100 Thieves actually having a pretty rough defense. Aren't doing too bad for themselves right now. But being a defensive-sided map, they hope to get more for sure. So we'll see Lockdown and Null Command ready. We'll see if Loud has to do anything with Tui's ultimate on this. Regular 4-1 split. They're finally putting alarm bots mid, switching up the Killjoy utility now, actually. So Stellar's going to start playing Tree with Kill utility onto that area. So a big change up, expecting Loud to go back to their standard strat.
Because he has that lockdown to work with. Now 1. Looks like Asuna wants to let himself get tagged by the Owl Jones, so that Bank can try to move forward off. The null command being held on the defense.
They're running right for Stellar.
And the lockdown was used on the top, and Sadak somehow moves in and still kills him. Now the lockdown got destroyed, but also Sadak gets destroyed by Cryocel's upshot.
Wow.
Dash activated. Cloudburst on the top. But now we're flipping the map over.
That's done.
We get a nice timing from Les. He has his own lockdown now. Plan coming down here for Loud. As for 100 Thieves, it's been a tough retake game so far in this first half. 2-8 so far. So they're looking to at least make it 3-9. But Aspas is looking to deny that right away with the wall bang onto Asuna as well. And that is going to be history that continues to repeat in this half. Another post-plant win for Loud.
Yeah.
Last round in the half.
The post-plants. Getting into that is a little tough for 100 Thieves, and the retake's not able to be coming back online any way either. So a lot of the things that can sometimes lean back on in those are falling to the wayside. Loud finding success. 5 ultimates online for the last round. This would be a huge one for 100 Thieves to pick up anyways. So 7-5 would be a great scoreline that they could get to their attack side with. And again, this is 100 Thieves taking that Viper out, switching back to the standard Ascent comp that we've been seeing, and it's just right towards A.
Oh yeah. You talked about the ultimates all being used right away. Maybe to try to gain space towards the A side and then use the lockdown in there after. But Thieves are doing a good job so far to hold back, hold their ground, until Aspas comes in once again with the dash, the draft.
You should run.
And the first blood into the round. And there's that lockdown being moved towards the Jenny. Thankfully, we picked up the orb on the defense so we could actually cancel that ult. But it misses. So lockdown's gonna go out.
What a spot.
Already has alert towards Min. Asuna is pinned. And a 5 versus 3. Also looking for the hero play. Another flash. The timing on that, but Aspa still gets the kill with the knives. Cryocells now is about to get pinged.
Standing.
And with that, it's all up to Derek. Nice little shot. But that's gonna be it. Loud close the first half 8-4.
That was the 5 ult surprise coming in there. Definitely going to be a tough one. A great start for 100 Thieves, but a better start for Loud, and that's what we've been asking of them.
So with that, let's toss it back to GB and Eminem to break down the first half here of Loud and 100 Thieves on Ascent.
Thank you so much, Mansili and Riv. And, well, you know, credit to 100 Thieves, definitely keeping this one close. We would have liked to see them get a few more rounds on that half, but no, just the way that Loud, every single time you think that they're out of the round, that they might lose it, they find a way. It's incredible to watch.
Every time. It's so consistent, and it's heartbreaking if you're watching as a 100 Thieves fan. You're like, man, like this round, they sniff out the lurk. It's looking great so far. They quietly sniff him out. We get this kill in Stellar, and then everything goes wrong. After this kill, you think it's gonna go great. It's a 2v5, and they just weren't able to trade out and execute the rest of the round. And there's also an attack Odin in hell, and that's something you almost never expect.
And that's exactly what we were seeing from that quote from Bang, where it was the little things that lost him the match against NRG. And here again, the game plan is sound. 100 Thieves have shown us good ideas. I think their reactions, even when Loud has been doing weirder things, like trying to flip the map on them, have been good. But they're still having these little moments where the coordination isn't quite there. And someone like Aspas or Les will take advantage of that one and still win out these rounds.
Yeah, and take advantage of it they have, right? Multiple times now. But what has been quite fascinating to see take place has been, you know, again, it's Mimi's favorite subject. It's a Jet comparison. Aspas and Cryo here. But it is wild that Aspas, not really involved much in the beginning of the game, pops knives, changes the entire complexion of the map. It's like Aspas is just so impactful.
He's so consistent, and we were talking about the fact that he started slow in some of these series, been the guy to have to bring them back. That wasn't the case here. He's been consistently good, but it's been the same thing as well for Loud, where they've come out, or for 100 Thieves, I mean, where Cryo has been fantastic from the very beginning.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to see Cryo step up to the challenge of taking on the Colossus that is Aspas. But the job is not done for 100 Thieves. Let's send it back over to the casters.
Thank you so much to the analyst desk, Riv. Indeed, this is going to be continuing to be a tough feat for 100 Thieves on the attack, as now they had to deal with Aspas potentially with the offering on defense. Kawadzin with an Odin on defense.
It is wild, right? You know Aspas is going to play Jet. You know eventually he's going to get an op. Pretty scary stuff.
And unfortunately, just to summarize what's happening so far, the question mark around the Ares on the second round. Unfortunately, we had to move over and play that pistol round, and it looks like it was in the victors of Loud.
Okay.
So we have 100 Thieves on an eco into this round here. Looking to at least get a little bit of this orb control. Split on both sides. Cry on one end on B site. With support from Stellar.
I just thought they had a good accountant.
I was gonna say.
Shots towards B here last. So they figured out where the Killjoy utility might be, but it's a nice delay of that on mid too. So less keeping everything active as 100 Thieves feels out this map. They're gonna have to make these classics work somehow, maybe drop at least one. But you see how much they're actually trying to get out of it. Maybe even reading Loud for further plays, who's where, what are we getting? Is Sova and Killjoy at B cool? Maybe next round too. Just educating themselves right now as we take this one very slow, down to the pressure cooker.
Oh yeah. You could definitely see it. 100 Thieves, all three players were waiting here the whole time, and Stellar's farming up these orbs, at least on the B side first. Now making more noise as finally it's going to be time for 100 Thieves to move inside the A site. But all they need to do now for Loud is just crossfire with all of these Spectres. That's a couple of players to fall, and only able to lose one player in that process. The economy continues to be strong now for Loud moving into the third.
A little bit of a fish in the barrel there.
Yep,
They knew exactly what was going on without moving around the map too much. Loud with that read. Aspas, the Marshal, likes to start sniping ASAP on these clutches.
Spike down A.
I think Tui's just getting a lot of points there. Yeah. From the Shadows will be up soon. But that's 10-4 now. Having those first two rounds really puts all that pressure onto 100 Thieves. This has to be a bonus win for them. Or Loud could look to topple this right over into that 13-4 score line. Push out towards Cat, push towards mid. They're trying to identify spots for 100 Thieves right away, especially with the 0-point usage. 100 Thieves are happy to take it slow, though. They just have to keep control of the map if they're going to leave the spike down like this.
Yeah. 100 Thieves were definitely okay with being hit by that 0-point in the earlier round, looking for that fight into A main, trying to catch Loud off position, potentially wait because of the slower buy, the bonus that comes in for the defender side. All of the focus now shifting towards the B site. The execution coming in. The dash to clear the space and looking for the opportunity to hit the switch. Nice paranoia though. That allows Cryocells to move down towards the staircase and drop Kawadzin. B site now open, and it's time for Loud to come in for the retake.
Love that drone there. Used during the take and not to follow the drone into the take. Really nicely done. Throws Kawadzin right off his game. And now it's the retake Fancilia. Quite a bit of util coming in here. Paranoia ready for Tui's.
Exactly. Paranoia and a flash available for Sadak as well. Looking for the first clear. There's that flash for the staircase. A TP through, but the wallbang still comes in from Derek. Recon Dart now available as he's shooting that over towards the B entrance. There's one tag, and there's that wallbang. And up to Aspas and less. And a flawless is in the sights for 100 Thieves in this round. Because there's only one player left to take. And that's Aspas to fall. The 100 Thieves, they needed that round to start early.
Exactly.
In the second half.
And it's even better that the majority of them stayed up. That money is going to be super important here as Loud knows how to just get everything out of you. As you try to get into the site, make you have to do a 2-layer attack instead of just hopefully your first. See Tui's with the op already. Marshall straight to operator. He had a pistol in his hand the first round, but it's just been long guns now. So I'm going to go straight for this orb. He's 2 away from Bladestorm, so this might be a focus. That's a lot of pressure.
Definitely a lot of pressure. Again, trying to fight with the 0-point, but Sadak somehow with the judge to get these 2 kills. And that operator is actually in the hands of Aspas in the glass cannon, rotating over back towards the A site to support Tui's. Asana's looking to maybe punish one moving forward. Jiggling from both sides, and looks like Tui's just spotted him. There's that jump spot. To make sure that now Asana is spotted. The fall back, but still the pick from Asana. Now pulling out into the null command, and Kawadzin again with that Odin. It's gonna be tough. Now a camera basically from the null command to allow Derek to swing out to hopefully get a kill, but it's not gonna happen.
The cover there is wild for Aspas. That's one of the most dangerous places to hide on A site. You easy spam out, but covered there by Collinzine, just everybody having the anchors on those trades. And not even a trade, Aspas stays alive. Timeout coming in from Mike's to sort out what's going on in these rounds. They're not being able to break the site. And I think ultimately the follow-through with utility for 100 Thieves isn't looking clean, right? The dash, the flash, the follow, it looked great when they sove it into B, but just the standard A, they're all bouncing in together. It seems a little straggled, and they cannot get their shots. I don't know. I mean, 100 Thieves continue to try to identify where Loud are playing on each round, and I think Loud's doing a good job at switching up those positions.
Yeah. I think that's the plus side for 100 Thieves on the attack. Not afraid to take the fight despite trailing so far behind. Fighting towards that A main, but it's been that one way being thrown by Thieves.
Yeah.
That was a thorn in their side on that previous round. Unfortunately, their shots even not connecting on the side for 100 Thieves trying to fight back against Sadat. There's not too much of that mid control coming out for 100 Thieves. Maybe knowing where Aspas likes to play that operator from time to time too.
That's exactly where I'm going. It becomes really tough without knowing where Aspas is. You don't get the chance to just kind of slow peek tree on Cat and see where somebody's there and gain a little more space towards Dog, right? You get shot at that point. So util is used every time. So they have to be very specific with where they want to go.
Shutting them down.
Well, Aspas is specific rather. Walking down towards mid.
Oh my God.
Activated a dash. And it's now time for Aspas on the defense to get these first bloods.
And he gets out. And he gets out.
Aspas trying everything in his power to try to catch up and try to get him down. Aspas is never afraid to re-peek and to fight back. Updrafting, getting away, getting all the information. The amount of shots coming out for 100 Thieves.
Good pressure.
Gets all of the audio indication of where the defenders and where the attackers are. And yes, indeed, it's still Loud.
Mid.
Getting every single kill so far in this round.
Player standing.
100 Thieves on the coattails of Aspas the entire round. He's only 78, 9 HP left. So only taking off his armor and a little bit of chip damage. This guy has the hero aura for them right now. They want to take down Aspas. The hero aura is something where you, as a player, get to control what the opponent does. And 100 Thieves wanted Aspas right there. His aura big time in this first matchup. 12-5. Final point here coming in for the side of Loud if they can secure it. And this may be a slower round again from 100 Thieves as the spike is split up. They start to fill out the map. Cryo one away from orb grab here if they want to be able to focus that.
Yeah.
I think they're staying away from that early 0 point and then they move in.
It's definitely going to be tough. Everything is stacked against 100 Thieves so far because we have a null command available. The operator from Aspas, a very low buy for 100 Thieves.
Yeah. So why don't you go for Bladestorm or Lockdown? They just seem so timid about it. Loud's obviously going to focus it, so maybe they avoid the instant fight. They know it's just going to be too much to use right now, and they want that, like I said, specifically for the take. Here we go towards mid.
Blocking sight.
And the attempt to split into the B site. Kawazine's there with the Odin. Shock darts to push down towards lane. Paranoid to gain space towards the staircase.
All right.
TP out from Thieves. Now 3 players are moving inside the site. Now the knife does some good damage and some good information, but the positioning is still better for Loud. That's 3 to fall, 2 left. One more to seal the round for Loud. And it's Asuna on a 4 versus 1 hit by the Paranoia. Wall banged, and we're going in for the shorty kill. Add that to your bingo card. As Loud comes in victor on the first map. 13-5.
They wake up and then they start sprinting on that one. There wasn't even a moment of kind of groggy-eyed. Wow, Loud actually coming out like they have been asked of them. And 100 Thieves looked really solid to start. They got their pistol round for a few, and then it seemed like Loud had them figured out round after round. Loud's initiations were getting them into sight, getting plants down, and then that was not the same for 100 Thieves attack. We thought that's where 100 Thieves would come out smoking a few rounds, and they actually got put back on the buns.
We saw the game plan, though, for 100 Thieves. Trying to make sure that they could get an early man advantage by having cryo cells pushing so forward into unorthodox positions to get in these picks. But when it comes down to, okay, a lot of pressure towards mid, We identify that for Loud, we hit towards the site, and that's been the demise for 100 Thieves after trying to come back for the retake and lose that one here. So a very tough one, at least here for the Thieves to lose the first map, but thankfully on to the second one. We'll be moving into Split, the map choice for 100 Thieves after this break.
What is this from EA? He is currently unstoppable. He is just a consistent demon. El Diablo.
Hey guys, it's EA. Welcome to my course on optimal Valorant training. I'm going to be demonstrating now some angle clearing. I'll slowly come around the corner as well, making sure no one's on these off angles.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.